Where can subqueries be used? Well, simply there's a certain number of places. The select clause, as in the columns in the select clause, can be individually replaced by expressions. A subquery is an expression, therefore a column can be a subquery by definition. In the where clause, you can check a filter against a subquery, returning a single value, multiple values, a single row, multiple rows, multiple columns with multiple rows, single rows, and so on and so forth. All the various combinations. The order by clause, the having clause, the from clause, the insert values clause, an update statement set. There's also the use of a subquery in a case statement expression, which is something allowed in a PL/SQL blocker code. A case statement is a standard programming construct used in most programming languages, allowing you to make an efficient and simplified type of if statement. You can also use a subquery in a function parameter. So now let's look at where to use subquery examples. Again, my work file, I'm copying in to SQL Developer. Here's my first example. All this is a subquery placed into a select statement. So it's actually a column. So we could say as column 1. And we run this guy. And it's doing a correlated join or semi-join or a correlated subquery, whatever you want to call it, between the calling query and the called query. Pretty simple. And now the where clause. Similar type of subquery using an in operator to check against multiples. And again, we just run it and we're just showing you how it works in the where clause. Also pretty simple. The order by clause. I've done a dummy query in here just to show you that you can actually embed a subquery into here. If you can imagine how complicated something like this can get, I don't want to get too complicated when I'm simply trying to show you where to put things or where you can put things. Once again, having clause. This does a group by query with a having clause. It says the name is any one of these things. In other words, we're finding everything that's in there. But it does work. You can place a subquery in the from clause. It's actually known as an inline view because it's creating a temporary query within the memory of the database that holds the data that can be passed back. The from clause is one of the two situations where you're passing information back from a subquery into the calling query. The other case is obviously a select statement column list embedded subquery. Here we've got a correlated query, and here we've got a non-correlated query. So actually what you're doing is finding all the data, all the columns in this query, passing it back to the calling query that then counts all the records. Which if you run this, it will actually give you exactly the same result as just counting the records. But it serves to demonstrate an embedded from clause subquery. So far we have not yet looked at insert and update statements. That's DML or data manipulation language. An insert statement allows you to change data in a table or add new rows to a table, and an update statement allows you to change data in a table where you're changing column values specifically or in groups. A bit more complicated than that, but as you can see here, I'm not actually going to run this query. All it's saying is go and insert something into these two columns based on this subquery and this string, and it will select the maximum value and a word called temporary and plop it into this table. The rollbacks there just allow you to undo the change that you've inserted. We'll get to rollback later on. Update simply allows you to update a table, set a column to a specific value. In this case, we're actually using it to find all the category IDs that have a null parent value, and we're setting the parent ID equal to that value. It's a nonsensical operation, but it demonstrates that you can actually set to a subquery. And once again, we roll back to undo the change. We'll see more of insert and update later. We could even embed in multiple layers. So what we do here is we select a value from dual, obviously something we can square root, and then we select something from that result, and then we select a square root from the result that we selected from. So we're embedding multiple layers within each other, and we run this and we get the square root before. Let's take this changed script, copy it back into here so you have it stored in your work files.